Hello, this is week 7, and this week we're going to cover two very basic topics, ed and s endings and adjective clauses. When we look at the endings s and ed, we find out that in English there are three different pronunciations for this sound. So we're going to see that, for example, the marker s is used for verbs to indicate third person singular in the present tense, and for nouns it is used to indicate plural form. Okay, although we only see an s or es when we write them, we have to tell our students that there are three different ways to pronounce it: s, z, and is. On the other hand, the marker ed is used in simple past and past participle forms of regular verbs. There are three possible pronunciations in the same way: t, d, and ed. Okay, why is there such a difference? Well, this difference happens or occurs because sounds may be voiced or voiceless. As you remember, a voiced sound is the one that, when it is pronounced, produces a vibration in the vocal cords. The other one, the voiceless sound, is the one that does not produce a vibration when pronounced. So if we take a look at the pronunciation of the S sound for plural nouns and verbs in third person, we're going to see that, as we said, there are three ways, okay? This one, the first one we have here, the extra syllable, is for the sounds that are called sibilants, okay? Most of these sounds are the ones that we have s, x, the Z, the double S, the CH, SH, and GE. Okay, so we're going to add a syllable, an extra syllable, after this word. So we're going to have races, buses, boxes, prizes, kisses, watches, dishes, and changes. Okay, sometimes I like to tell my students that it would be too difficult to say races. Okay, and that's why we need an extra syllable. For voiceless sounds, we're going to have the S. So for example, we're going to say sleeps, books, hats, cliffs, graphs, and meets. The voiced sound is going to be a little bit more difficult because we're not used to pronouncing this sound like this in Spanish. So we're going to say crabs, words, bags, deals, dreams, fans, sings, wears, gloves, plays. Okay, for these sounds we do need to make a bigger effort in order to show the final pronunciation of this word. Why is this important? Well, because depending on the word that you're using, you may say something different. Okay, consider the example of ice, what you use to put in your drink to make it cold, and eyes, the things or the body parts that you use to see. On the other hand, the pronunciation of ed, again, we're going to have three different sounds. The extra syllable is going to be for t and d, because we cannot say want t or needed. Okay, we need an extra syllable, so we're going to say wanted, needed, and this is going to be used with words that end with the sound t or d. For the voiceless sounds, we're going to pronounce it like t, and there's an aspiration that will help you really see that you're pronouncing a T. So t, t. So we have helped, looked, sniffed, laughed, washed, watched, kissed, danced, fixed. On the other hand, the voiceless sounds, we're going to have a D. When you pronounce the D, there's no aspiration, okay? So that will show you that you're correctly pronouncing this sound. So we have cold, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved, used, amazed, rubbed, claimed. How do we teach this? Well, sometimes our students prefer to memorize which the voiceless and the voiced sounds are. Sometimes it's easier to teach them to work with this exercise. You have your students try the sound by testing if it vibrates or not. Okay, and if it vibrates, then it would determine if it's the or z, or if it doesn't vibrate, they're going to use s or t. The other topic that the chapter talks about is adjective clauses. We have that an adjective clause is a clause that describes or gives more information about a noun. So look at the example. These are the boys who won the prize. Okay? I want to specify, or I want to make it clear who these boys are. So I'm going to use the adjective clause. These are the boys. Which boys? The ones who won the prize. An adjective clause usually begins with relative pronouns, which are who, that, which, whom, whose, when, and where. Sometimes these relative pronouns can be omitted, especially when they are in the object position. So look at this example. These are the shoes I want. It's the same if I say, these are the shoes that I want. I want is the adjective clause. The position, we know that adjectives go before the noun. So adjective clauses are going to go after the noun they modify. So look at the example. The girl, which girl, whose backpack I have, must feel worried about her boots. Okay. Adjective clauses, as you see them, they have a subject and a verb. So they are clauses. That's why we call them clauses, because they have a subject and a verb. When do we use the relative pronouns? Well, we're going to use who for people in the subject position. We're going to use whom for people in the object position, and as you see, it can be omitted. So if you see it between parentheses, that means it can be omitted. So you say, these are the students whom you asked for, or you just say, these are the students you asked for. The other relative pronoun that, which can be used for people in object or subject position. In the example, we have it as an object in which it can be omitted. These are the children you saw in the picture, or these are the children that you saw in the picture. Please bring the cookies which Mary likes. This is for things. I need a book you have, a thing again, or I need a book that you have. The other ones, the students whose report you read are in third year, so we have whose is used for possession. This is the restaurant where we met. This is the restaurant we met, used for places. And it was the day when you stayed home. It was the day you stayed home. When is used for time. The last part refers to the reduction of adjective clauses. So you can use phrases beginning with ing verbs in order to reduce the adjective clause. Okay, so look at the example. The woman that was carrying a baby was the first in line. If I want to reduce this adjective clause we see here, that was carrying a baby, I can say the woman carrying a baby was the first in line. Okay, I still have an adjective clause that is modifying or specifying which woman it is. Another example, now with a past participle, the books that were sold yesterday were the last ones available. This is the adjective clause. So I take off the subject and the verb and I say the books sold yesterday were the last ones available. Well, this concludes our video. Please review the information. Make sure that if you have any questions or comments, you bring them to class on Tuesday. Have a nice week.